And welcome to Scott Bryant's Fitness Systems on YouTube. Thank you for clicking on the video. And this video is all about what is the best personal trainer course that you should do to start your business as a personal trainer. I'm going to give you lots of other tips and hints as well with my 26 years of personal training experience and 35 years of working out all over the world and training clients all over the world, and what are the best courses that you should do and what you shouldn't do. So the first thing, you need to subscribe right now, please, and thank you very much for subscribing. But first of all, when it comes to personal trainer courses, there's no real set rules. They're going to teach you anatomy, they're going to teach you about the cardiovascular system, the strength system, a really smidgen bit about program design, a smidgen bit about postural realignment and stuff like that, which is really, really important if you're going to be working with clients. Now, who I studied with in my beginning days, 26 years ago, was with the YMCA, and I studied their personal trainer diploma. And I had to do a walking module, a business module, a cardiovascular module, exercise to music, gym instructor, and I think that's it. So it was 5 modules I had to do in which to get my personal trainer diploma. But that qualification didn't cover mental, emotional issues, postural issues, musculoskeletal issues, gut issues, parasite issue, fungal issues, all the other stuff that I've learned with the CHEK Institute in San Diego, California. So really, I would never, ever, ever do an online personal trainer course, simply because you need to palpate, which means touching your client and feeling the shoulder firing when they're doing side lateral raises or when they're doing trapezius shrugs. You've got to be able to feel the body, and this is what you can't do with an online course. But you could do an online course once you've got the experience in the gym. So before you become a personal trainer and think about courses, you need to make sure you get 10,000 hours of practice, of working on yourself or with a friend in the gym, where you're working out together, you're learning about the body and how it works, and how the bicep feels or how a deadlift feels, and these exercises that you must master in yourself and then master with your clients so they don't get injured. Does that make sense? So a lot of personal trainer courses do not look at the core in a specific way, like the internal, the external oblique, the lower abdominal, the middle abdominal, the top abdominal. They'll just go, you need to do crunches with your client in which to get them to lose body fat or to get stronger. But remember, you can't spot reduce body fat. So if they're saying that doing crunches is going to get rid of body fat in the abdominal wall, it's a complete lie. So remember, there's a gazillion amount of trainers out there now, and there's a gazillion amount of courses. So you need to find a course that's very thorough, in depth, and don't be afraid of learning knowledge and having to test yourself to learn new stuff. I've read over 1,000 books, and I've done over 100 different courses to make sure I know more than the average guy, okay, in the gym. So then that way, if I go and work in a gym, they're going to see a difference between what I do to what the normal bog standard online cowboy trainer has done. The reason why I call other trainers cowboys, because a lot of them are not studying in depth enough, and they're working on the human body with a client. So with NASM you get a manual, and then most of it is online. And the reason why they're doing this, the online thing, because they can get many bums on seats and make more money without having a tutor to be there to show them what they need to do. Does that make sense? So really, doing an online personal trainer course to become a trainer, you're turning really into a cash cow for that business. Does that make sense? Because all they want to do is make money. They don't really care whether you really understand it in depthly. And this is where the CHEK Institute is totally different. To do the CHEK Masters that I got in 2013 there will take a minimum of 6 years. So you need to think about how long do you want to be in the fitness industry for? Are you going to be doing it for 3 to 6 months and then stop? Or is it a long term, you want to do it for years? So if you have the idea that in 6 years' time you still want to be a PT, then really you need to study as in depth and as deeply as you can and do as many courses as you can, so then that way you can help many types of different people. So I help golfers, tennis players, polo players, people with back pain, people with neck pain, people with shoulder pain, knee pain, and can reverse all of it as long as the client is willing to put the time, the money and the energy into it, okay? So an average PT course is about £3,000. The CHEK Institute, to go all the way through all the levels, is going to cost you £35,000. So that's £35,000. I think they do a deal where it's £305 a month, which is brilliant. It separates the payments, so you know you've got to pay you £305, but the stuff that they give you is so in depth and so life-changing for yourself and for your clients. And remember, this is a lot of the training courses about enhancing your client's life, but not enhancing yours. And remember that you can only give what you've already got. So if you've got big arms, like me, 18 inches, I can give 18 inches to a client because I know exactly how to get 18-inch arms. Does that make sense? Or a stronger core, or a stronger back, or to drop body fat to a certain level. Does that make sense? So I believe that you can't give what you haven't got yourself. So you can't give what you haven't got yourself. So if you commit your fitness career to studying and learning and pushing yourself to the max without burning yourself out, you can really make an excellent living and have a great life as a PT. And you don't have to do 6 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night until you get to bed, and you've got to be up at 4 because you've got to be at the gym at 6. You can, when you get to a certain level, you can stipulate to your clients, I don't start work till 10 o'clock and I finish at 7 o'clock. Does that make sense? And because if you're self-employed and you're running your own business, the clients respect you for that. And the clients that you're going to be working with are going to be CEOs, bankers, lawyers, solicitors, doctors, nurses, and all these type of professionals that understand when you're running a business that you run it the way that's in balance with your health and your lifestyle. Does that make sense? So a client might phone me today and say, Scott, I want to work with you, but all I've got is I can only see you at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I will probably say, sorry, I can't do that. So they have to change their diary, not me change my diary. Does that make sense? Because they're coming for my knowledge and my expertise, so they need to switch things around, not me switch my whole life around because I've not worked at 6 o'clock in the morning for many, many years, because I felt that when I was doing the 6 till 9 at night, by the time I went to bed, I wasn't sleeping very well. I was getting more and more tired. And if I was seeing more than 5 clients a day, I was totally zapped and couldn't give quality of workout to the client because I was too mentally and physically tired. And you will find this, that some clients are energy vampires and some clients are energy givers. So you'll have one client come in and they'll go, oh yes, Scott, I want to do the squats. Yes, Scott, I'm going to do the press ups. Oh yes, Scott, what a brilliant workout. I feel great. It was really, really good. And then you'll get the other client that will go, oh, my neck hurt, my back hurts, and I'm not doing that, and I'm not doing this, and I won't do that, and I won't do that. And that client will be, if you're buzzing and you're feeling really good because you just trained a client before, will be a, sort of like an energy vampire, because when they turn up, your energy starts to come down because they're so negative, blah, blah, blah. But when they leave, they feel fired up because they've robbed your energy. Does that make sense? So that's another thing that you need to learn how to do as a PT, is how to protect your own energy. The same as protecting your knowledge when you're working with other PTs, is that don't give them all that, give them that, because they're not giving you all that. Does that make sense? I never forget one trainer come up to me, Scott. He said, Scott, what gives you the right to charge £150 an hour when I only charge 60? And I went, well, there's no right, mate. It's all about your own self-worth. And obviously your self-worth is lower than mine. And I just walked off. But that really wound him up because I had said that he had a low self-worth. But obviously if it's winding him up, he's obviously got that issue. And why did he even want to know what I charged in the first place? And why would he let it wind him up? Does that make sense? And that's another thing, as a self-employed PT, you can charge whatever you want. I know a PT that charges £200 an hour, but is he a good PT? No, he's terrible. But he's got the balls in which to say to new clients, it's £200 an hour. And because nobody else is charging that high rate, that puts him at a higher level in the businessman or the entrepreneur, or somebody that's got a lot of money will go, oh, he's got to be really good because he's £200 an hour if he's not been with anybody else. Does that make sense? But as a self-employed person, if you choose to go self-employed, you can charge whatever you want. So you've got to think about your lifestyle. What food do you want to be eating? What clothes do you want to wear? How many times do you want to go on holiday? How quick do you want to pay your mortgage? What car do you want to drive? All these things you need to think about, because I see on YouTube yesterday, some donkey company is charging £15 an hour for PT, which that means if they're travelling across London, by the time they paid their bus fare or travel in a car or a taxi, they're on £6. Then by the time the taxman takes the money and the national insurance has gone, they're on £3 for that hour. Completely stupid. But I know why they're saying £15 an hour, because they're hoping they're going to get lots of clicks and people going, oh yeah, I'm going to train with that trainer for £15 an hour. But that £15 an hour trainer will damage the back, the shoulder, the knee, the hip, because they won't have the knowledge. And this is what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? If I go and get my watch fixed from the local watch mender and don't send it to Tag Heuer, the watch mender won't know how to recalibrate it for 300 meters of deep sea diving. Whereas Tag Heuer has got it all set up. Obviously they charge a lot of money for that. But can you see the difference? If you pay less, you get less. Pay more, you get more, and you get better. Does that make sense? And this is the same with the courses. You could do an online course for £3,000 or £2,000 or whatever it is, but you're not going to learn palpation. You might miss a lot of the angles of what you need to see the body, because obviously you need to correct when a client is doing something wrong. And if they're doing it wrong and you let them keep doing it wrong, it only takes 300 repetitions for it to stay in the brain. And when they come to see me because you've messed their back up, it takes 3,000 to 5,000 repetitions for me to change it in their brain and in the muscle structure. Does that make sense? Because muscle's got memory. Do you know what I mean? During COVID, I went down to 11 stone. I'm now back up to just over 14 stone. So it shows that you can lose muscle when you can gain it back, because muscle has memory. Does that make sense? And the same as if somebody's doing a squat badly, you're not going to teach them how to do it correctly in 2 sessions. It's going to take multiple sessions, and loosening the tight muscles and the muscles that are weak, that are causing the squat to be wrong. Does that make sense? But all this takes a trained eye. So you need to be doing 10,000 hours of practice, which means you become a master at what you're doing in the gym, and you will really stand out. And then if you decided to go down the CHEK route, which is IMS 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, then you've got the holistic lifestyle coaching level 1, level 2, level 3, or nutrition and lifestyle coaching level 1, level 2, level 3. and then you've got golf biomechanics, and then you've got tennis biomechanics, which will all guaranteed to make you stand out, and you can make your rates go higher so you can work less. Does that make sense? But you've got to have a vision as a new PT of where you want to be in 6 years' time. So write that down. How much do you want to earn per year? How much are you going to put it up by? How many clients do you want? And how are you going to market to get them clients? And I tell you what, 100%. The bits of paper are very hard to get with the Institute. Very, very hard. But what's even harder is getting new customers. And that's when you need to become an expert at Google, at YouTube, at Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Unless you're going to pay somebody to do it, then you need to become skillful in that as well. So you need to think about, if you're working in a gym and you're getting paid a salary and you're doing one of their courses, remember, if you do their course, it may not be recognised by another gym, sorry. So you have to remember that. So try and research whatever course that you do, either online or you're going to do it in a classroom and in the gym. Make sure it's recognised by other establishments. Otherwise, you're going to have a worthless bit of paper. You'll have all the knowledge, but when you're trying to go for new jobs or new opportunities, like you want to go and speak at a gym, like I've done at the Hurlingham Club and the Langham Hilton, when you're doing these speaking gigs, if you don't have the right qualification that they know about, you won't get the speaking gig. Does that make sense? And look at your business like a multiple business. Do you want to sell fitness equipment? Do you want to do classes? Do you want to do online PT only? Do you want to do gym sessions? Do you want to do park sessions? Do you want to do home sessions? There's so many. The fitness industry, in some respects, is really great from a point of view of that there's so many roads that you can go down, and there's hundreds of ways that you can market yourself. So if you don't want to train people late at night and travel on the way home, do it online. Or if you want to do early morning clients, but you want to do early morning clients where you don't have to travel or be in a gym, you do it online in their home. So you do it from your home, but you're doing it on their phone or on their computer at home. And this is what I love about this is what I love about PT, on how much it's grown as a business. You can do online, you can do face to face, you can do in the home, you can do in the park, you can do in the garden, you can do in the gym. But the negative side of doing it in the gym is that the huge amount of rent commitment that you've got. And remember, only 3% want training in the gym. That's one thing you've got to remember. 2, your rates will go up, and they charge you a license. I don't know what for. It's a bit of a scam. And then they charge you £50 for t-shirts that only cost £2.50 to make. Now, if they were £50 and they were Hugo Boss, or they were made out of silk, or made out of something really special, and made you look really the part, then I think it's worth paying for. Or platinum, business cards that they're going to give you, but they just give you cardboard business cards. So you got that to think about as well. But the great thing about being in a gym is that you got a huge tappable client base in the gym. But when you're freelance like myself online, you haven't got that tappable client base. So you're relying on your marketing to bring people in for business. Does that make sense? So really have a think about, do you really want to be a PT? You've got to work hard, you've got to be determined, you've got to push yourself, you've got to go out of your comfort zone, and there may be times where you don't earn no money. It's not like a regular job where you get, unless you're employed by the gym, where they'll pay you a lot less. That's another thing. If you work for a gym, they'll might give you £20 an hour. You think you're rich, but they're charging 80, 90 to £100 an hour for you to work with one of their with one of their members. So you're really being done for your knowledge, but the gym will go, well, you don't have to pay for marketing, you don't have to pay for this, and you're getting this at the end of every month, which is much less stressful than being properly self-employed. But when you're properly self-employed, I'm charging for, in my tax returns, I put in, I bought a new phone, I bought a new camera, I bought this, I bought that, all to do with marketing for the business. When you're employed, you can't do any of that. So that means you'll pay very high tax, whereas if you're self-employed and you've got business overheads, you pay much less tax. And this is why it's a benefit either to be in a gym as a self-employed trainer, but then when you're in the gym, they start telling you what to do, go and clean that machine. Do you really want to do that when you're self-employed? And when the CEO of Barclays is training and he wants to get a trainer, but he sees you cleaning machines, loses respect for you straight away. Now, Fitness First, as far as I know, still today, they don't allow their trainers to clean anything. You're there just to train clients and to pay them rent at the end of the month. And that's the way it should always be. Then that way you can keep your head up high and know that you're not being demoralized by being a glorified cleaner like Pure Gym do. Does that make sense? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, more videos to come. I'm uploading a video nearly every day now, covering all different subjects to do with personal training, fitness, strength and conditioning, and getting